Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Motordrome Speedway as Craftsman Tools presents the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series. It is now time for our opening ceremonies. At this time, we ask that everyone please rise. If you are moving around the grounds, please pause with us for our opening ceremonies. Gentlemen, remove your caps. As joining us this evening, we have along the front straight Mr. Ray Kaiser from the New Stanton United Methodist Church to deliver our invocation, and performing our national anthem this evening will be Ann Martucci. At this time, we ask for silence around the Speedway, and we turn the right microphone over to Mr. Ray Kaiser.
Thank you. Dear Lord, we come into your presence and we give you thanks on this joyous evening, this beautiful night. We pray, Lord God, that you would watch over each of us here tonight. Watch over our bodies, our minds, and our hearts, Lord. I pray, Lord, you would watch over the drivers tonight and protect each of them from injury. Father God, we lift this time up to you, giving you thanks for all you do for us. We give you praise and honor in Jesus' name. Amen.
And now to perform our national anthem, please remain standing, and we turn the microphone over to Ann Martucci.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Or say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good job, Ann.
Thank you very much to Ann Martucci and Ray Kaiser. And now, after 4 consecutive weeks of rainouts, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to go NASCAR racing? For 60, outside it's Harry Opfer from Bell Vernon in the 0-1. The 40 machine is driven by Brian Ship. The 9 is Rick Huffman. The 1 is Dave McManus, and we're underway. Bob Ship in the 0-4, sophomore modified driver who earned the title of Rookie of the Year for this division last season, leading Matt Penaya. Both of those drivers seeking their first career victories in feature racing competition. And lap number 1 is complete with Bob Ship the leader. Last year, Bob Ship won 3 heat races en route to that Rookie of the Year title. He's a former champion in the Charger division, has about a 4-car length lead over Matt Penaya in the 32 car. Harry Opfer sliding beneath Adam Kostelnik in that battle for the 4th spot. Bell Vernon's Harry Opfer in the 0-1, falling back to 5th now, and Lonnie Hoffman nearly loses the handle on the back straight. The Smithton, PA driver in car number 94 has to back off the throttle. That allows the front 2 cars to run away from he and defending champ Adam Kostelnik. Fourth place driver Adam Kostelnik in car number 60 from East McKeesport, not only the track champion, but the leading feature winner last season in the Viglione Motorsports number 60. Hoffman in car 94 was a regular competitor in the street stock division here, and he is now to the outside as Kostelnik looks to make a move for third. Kostelnik, who won 13 heat races last year, takes over third position with only 3 laps remaining in this first Lincoln Welders Modified heat tonight. Way out in front, the 04 of Bob Shipp, the sophomore driver. In second, the 32 of Matt Penaya, who was a 2-time heat race winner last season that finished 5th in the championship standings. Final 2 laps and the top 5 cars have spaced themselves out several car lengths apart. Bob Shipp leading Matt Penaya, then Adam Kostelnik, then Lonnie Hoffman, the local driver, as the white flag indicates final lap. The first of 2 preliminary heat races for the Lincoln Welders Modifieds about to come to a close as a battle develops for the second position. Matt Penaya in the inside lane, Adam Kostelnik in the outside lane. Out of turn 4, all eyes on the winner. Bob Shipp gets his first heat race victory of the season. 97 is a feature winner this season. George P. Nicola from Pittsburgh. Outside it's the 5, his uncle Jim Nicola. The 7 is Ben Easler. The 29 is Brian Pickering. And the 4 is driven by George Thomas as we are green and racing for 8 more laps in the Lincoln Welders Modifieds. Gary Scott in car 16, a 4-time feature winner last season, has Bo Glemba tucked on his back bumper to complete lap number 1. Last season, Scott, your leader, was a 3-time heat race winner. He actually won more feature events than heats, and right behind him, Bo Glemba got his first career victory last year, and 4 weeks ago got married just hours after competing in his modified here at Motordrome. The 11 of John Probanich from East McKeesport in 3rd position was last year's McDonald's fan favorite, the most popular driver in the division by popular vote. In 4th, George Nicola in 97 from Pittsburgh, who won the feature here on opening night. Nicola looking to the outside now as the points leader in the Lincoln Welders Modifieds, trying to take away 3rd position from John Probanich in the 11. Last year, Probanich won 4 heat races here at Motordrome Speedway. Battle for the 5th spot, wheel-to-wheel racing with rookie to the division Jeff Giles in car 50 and veteran Jim Nicola in the 5. Giles last year won 13 features in the Charger division, and Nicola spins from his 3rd place battle. Nicola spins, and when Jeff Giles in the 50 car backed off to avoid contact, Jim Nicola made contact with the rear of the 50 machine. Friday before his wedding on Saturday just a few weeks ago, and here's the green flag. Gary Scott with a whole shot start, gaining 4 or 5 car lengths right at the drop of the green flag over Glemba. Probanich in 3rd. Giles continues in 4th now after Nicola's spin from that position. Giles got crossed up on the back straight, had to back off the throttle again, and Nicola in the 5. That's Jim Nicola closing up quickly. While Jim Nicola races for the 4th position, his nephew George Nicola, the points leader, has already passed Pickering. He's already passed Thomas and challenging Ben Easler to try and gain more championship points after that caution flag spin in turn 4. White flag in the air for Gary Scott over Bo Glemba, John Probanich. Top 3 cars checking out on this field. 3-car battle develops now on the final lap for 4th position. Jeff Giles in the 50, the rookie, holding off a pair of Nicolas, Jim and George. And out of turn number 4 for the second time in 2006, Gary Scott, a heat race winner in the Lincoln Welders Modifieds. Finish 34 machine of Rich Nicola. 35 is driven by Bill Ashton. 12 is John Greenewalt. Dustin Blank starting scratch in the field in 94. Green flag is out, 8 laps the distance. A pair of Subway Street Stock preliminary heat races. Jason Holder in the 74 car, a former feature winner here at Motordrome, out in front. Door to door behind him, the 69 of Nicola and the 77 of Burbage. Lead changing, working the beginning of lap number 2. Joe Nicola, who has both one heat win and one feature win, storms underneath the 74 of Holder, the Stoystown, Pennsylvania driver, falling back to third as Rich Burbage of Newcastle is now up to second. 77 of Rich Burbage last year had one heat race victory. He's all by himself in second, but a hard-charging 35 car of Bill Ashton has closed and is now door-to-door in the battle for second. Ashton and Burbage in turn number 4. Burbage falls back 2 spots on the same lap as here comes Greenewalt in the 12. John Greenewalt, a former late model competitor who took a break from NASCAR competition, returns this season in the Subway Street Stocks. And his car number 12 is up to third after starting deep in this field, following the 35 of Ashton, while leader Joe Nicola runs away with this one halfway. Crossed flags indicating 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. Side by side down the back straight. John Greenewalt in 12. Bill Ashton in 35. Ashton had one feature victory last season. Greenewalt, returning to the cockpit after a couple of years off, takes over second spot. Joe Nicola in car number 69, not in the top 10 in the point standings with the Subway Street Stocks. He won the opening night feature and was disqualified the second night out, losing all points. We mentioned the Subway Street Stock Challenge. After both heat races have been completed, we will draw a driver's name from the top 10 in the standings. If that randomly chosen driver wins tonight's Subway Street Stock feature, your ticket stub becomes a gift certificate, good for a free 6-inch meatball sub from participating Subway locations. On the white flag lap, last time around, 69 machine of Joe Nicola from West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Heads into turn 3. Now turn 4 with a sizable margin gets his second heat race victory of the season. Sean Phillips in the 31 car starts to the outside. The 64 of Bill Henry starts third. Dave the Hammer Tavermina drives car number 25. The 10 car is Will Ashton. The 5 is current points leader and defending champion Frank Turek. As we have an immediate battle for the lead, Sean Phillips in car 31. Last season, he debuted after the halfway point, but never finished out of the top 10. He makes contact with Kostelnik in turn 4. Andrew Kostelnik from North Braddock, Pennsylvania, younger brother of our defending modified champion in car 57, returning the contact to Phillips down the back straight. They got locked up battling for the lead out of turn number 4, and we're going to go side by side for the lead on the front straight. Kostelnik to the inside, Sean Phillips of Waynesburg, PA on the outside. Phillips last year had that impressive string of top 10 finishes, even though his car was not ready until mid-season. Kostelnik, your new leader, got his career first street stock win last year in that 57 car. Moving up to third now, Dave the Hammer Tavermina. Tavermina last year won the Subway 25, the crown jewel event for this division last year, and he crawls underneath Sean Phillips into the second spot, bringing defending champion Frank Turek right with him. Turek has one feature victory this season and was the leading winner in the division last year from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Sean Phillips now all the way back to fourth with the 64 of Bill Henry in fifth. Bumper to bumper down the back straight. Tavermina and Turek, good friends off the racetrack, making contact down the back straight. Two of the strongest racers in the Subway street stocks, fighting for second position. Both of them are losing ground to young Andrew Kostelnik. Kostelnik's Monte Carlo makes a puff of smoke into turn number one. Hopefully that was brake smoke or a body panel that may be rubbing as a result of that contact with Sean Phillips before he took the lead. This time, 2 laps to go for the second Subway Street Stock Heat Race. Tavermina hangs on to second by less than a car length, and it is definitely engine trouble for Kostelnik. The 57 car with smoke looks like it's coming from the header region of that compartment, and he's about to lose third after leading the most laps. Tavermina, the hammer, takes over the lead, headed to the white flag with a bump from defending champion Frank Turek. Kostelnik dropping back, trying to figure out if that is tire smoke from hitting the brakes and dropping the body lower on the front end, or if it's an engine problem. Either way, he will not win this heat race. But the 25 from Wilmerding, Pennsylvania, Dave Tavermina does, picking up his third heat race win in 3 attempts. Finishing fifth in car 64 from Vandergrift, Bill Henry. And from Clarksburg, West Virginia in the 51, Mr. Consistency, John Messenger. 33 is Greensburg veteran John Komarinsky. The 11 is points leader Bobby Henry. 37 is Paul Urso from Glenshaw. The 8 is Dan Lewis, and we're green and racing. 10 laps the distance. Sean Pilla in car number 5. Taking the early lead, he has 1 heat race win already. Gary Wiltrout in car number 60, defending winner of the Napa 100, into second spot, driving the Benz Motorsports number 60. Doug Arrett in car number 7, making his first Motordrome start, falling back from the front row into fourth as a challenge for the lead. Wiltrout quickly takes the low line away from Sean Pilla. Wiltrout, the new leader, Pilla in second, Komarinsky up to third. John Komarinsky making some great moves in the first 2 laps of this one. He's up to third. Right with him, it's the driver tied for the points lead. Bobby Henry, a winner in our last Napa NASCAR late model feature. Henry to the inside, taking third away from Komarinsky. Third place driver Bobby Henry with more than 100 victories. Doug Arrett spins in turn 2. Doug Arrett, the Motordrome rookie, and we use that term loosely. He has made several starts all across the country in ARCA Remax competition, modified racing, and Legends car competition. With that very late model, he earned the track championship in Mansfield, Ohio on the big half mile last year, and this his first start at Motordrome Speedway. 5th in the point standings for a 3rd straight year in the top 5. Here's the green flag. Wiltrout, Pilla, Henry lead him with 7 to go. Wiltrout putting several car lengths between himself and Pilla. He is a teammate to Bobby Henry, racing in the 3rd position. Close quarters racing. Henry with 1 wheel off the pavement, fighting for 2nd position. Dan Lewis spins to the bottom of turn 2 in the 8 car. Yellow flag will come out. We'll see if the Henry pass will count, as the caution flag has to wave for Dan Lewis in the 8. Lewis of Greensburg, Pennsylvania, a winner in several different divisions here at the Speedway. Komarinsky will go from 4th, Messenger from 5th. Here's the green flag with 6 laps to go. That thrilling battle for the 2nd position now never happened in theory, and Henry's going to have to work just as hard. They nearly made contact as a pair of Connellsville, Pennsylvania residents continue to duke it out for the runner-up spot. Henry used as much of the racetrack as he could last time to make the pass. He is using the inside lane once again, but Pilla holds him off by inches. And now with a slight miscue of the 5 car, Henry completes his pass of second with 5 laps remaining, and his teammate Will Trout out in front. And Pilla spins into Komarinsky, hard contact on the front straight. Everybody else avoids it nicely, but Pilla lost the handle. The back end of the 5 car started to come around. He plowed the 33 of John Komarinsky, and both cars stopped on the front straight. Komarinsky's body damage looks severe, but I don't think that car took very much of a hit to the suspension. Both of these cars may be able to be repaired for the 35-lap feature tonight. The officials signaling to Komarinsky to try steering the wheels, and apparently there is a broken tie rod or maybe something more serious as the tow truck is being summoned to the 33 car. It looked like Pilla may have just clipped body work, but the popular Greensburg veteran will need a tow truck and some hard work by that crew to get that car prepared for tonight's 35-lap feature. As we go back to green flag racing, Gary Wiltrout leading teammate Bobby Henry. John Messenger in the 3rd spot. Messenger, the West Virginia driver, we call him Mr. Consistency, and you can see why. Smart driving has him up to the 3rd spot at the halfway point of this heat race, with Gary Wiltrout and Bobby Henry, the Benz Motorsports cars, leading the field. Wiltrout in the 60, and points leader Bobby Henry in car 11, about to put on a show as teammates, running 1 and 2 out of the Benz Racing stable. Wiltrout, last year a 3-time feature winner, including the Napa 100. Henry with 6 victories last season. Wiltrout and Henry pace the field with Messenger a distant 3rd, only 2 laps remaining now. Gary Wiltrout of Somerset, Pennsylvania, the 2002 track champion. Bobby Henry with over 100 victories in his career, still seeking his first championship title here at his home track in car 11. White flag in the air signals last time around for Wiltrout out front. Teammates down the back straight, separated by 2 car lengths. Last season, Gary Wiltrout won 3 heat race victories and gets his first of 06 by defeating Bobby Henry and John Messenger. In car 25, the 98 is Greg Kelly, the 15 is Brandon Manns, Richard Mitchell in 22 tied for the points lead. Outside it's Steve Black in the 1, Jamie Beck in the 92, and Dave Barrow in 69. Green flag is waving. Tommy Beck in the 91 taking the lead from defending track champion. Rick Miller in car 25 makes his first start of 2006. Wheel to wheel with defending Jennerstown champion Tommy Beck. It's a battle of track champions, and Miller leads lap 1. Brandon Manns moving up quickly. Manns in the 15 car to the outside of Greg Kelly in the 98 and Beck in the 91. Manns gains 3 positions in 1 lap as the North Huntington, Pennsylvania driver climbs into 2nd. Beck is back to 3rd and having problems, not up to speed as the 91. Some type of mechanical problem under the hood of car number 91. He is slowing on the back straight after holding the early lead. Rick Miller now out in front. Brandon Manns in 2nd. Greg Kelly 3rd, and Brewston Mills, West Virginia's Richard Mitchell 4th. As Beck pulls pit side on lap 3 of 10, Greg Kelly now challenging to get a position back from Manns. Manns used the high line to pass the Froggy 98 machine of Kelly, and now they are door to door out of turn 4 after nearly making contact. Kelly grabs the 2nd position. Brandon Manns in car 15 has led several laps in feature competition already in 2006, is seeking his first career victory. Inside of him, Richard Mitchell, our most recent winner in car 22. Mitchell climbs into 3rd spot. The former track champion won 8 feature events to lead all other drivers last season. He's currently tied atop the championship point standings and is challenging Greg Kelly for 2nd. Kelly, the former truck division champion here at Motordrome Speedway. Door to door with Mitchell in the 22. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, out front in his first start of the year, the Dunbar Dominator, all by himself in car 25. The leading heat race winner last year as Kelly spins from second, battling with Mitchell, bringing out the caution flag with 4 laps to go. With 8 victories and 6 heat race wins. Miller and Mitchell, both repeat champions of Motordrome Speedway, up front. The Dunbar Dominator and Brewston Mills, West Virginia's Richard Mitchell. Pontiac versus Chevrolet. Miller officially the leader on lap 7 by half a car length. Mitchell diving to the inside. Lead changes hands on the back straight. Will he make it official by leading at the scoring line to begin working lap 8? Indeed he does. Richard Mitchell out in front of the defending champion. Brandon Mans back up to the 3rd spot in car 15 and losing the handle in the 15 car. Sliding 2 lanes up the racetrack. Opens the door for Steve Black of Greensburg in car number 1 to challenge for 3rd. Brandon Mans, who looked very strong in the high lane earlier in this event, with the white flag waving, now in jeopardy of losing 3rd spot to Steve Black. Black from Greensburg in the Penn West Toyota Lift Ford number 1 to the inside of Brandon Mans' Ford Taurus, battling for 3rd, but out of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air. Richard Mitchell gets the victory, and contact out of 4. Mans hangs on to 3rd. Black with a flat tire spins the 1 car in turn number 1. Black with a completely flat left tire may be a result of the contact, battling for 3rd. They finish like this, the 98 of Greg Kelly finishing 5th. The 1 of Steve Black officially gets the 4th spot. 3rd is Brandon Mans of North Huntington in 15. Coming home 2nd, the Dunbar Dominator, Rick Stokes, who won 5 feature events in 2005. That's the front row with Tracy Keller and Roger Bryan in row 2. Here's the green flag. Yellow Book Chargers are underway. Jimmy Stokes of West Newton takes the 95 car out to the lead ahead of the rookie. Tracy Keller in 3rd. He won the most recent feature event for the Yellow Book Chargers. Then door-to-door Mike Lemley and the 7 of Gardner. Gardner switches the Nowak number 7 to the inside lane and makes contact with Lemley, battling for 4th. Gardner last season was a 2-time feature winner in the American Flyers division. Now advancing into the 4th spot with Tracy Keller in 3rd, Jimmy Christoffel in 2nd in the 04, and Jimmy Stokes your leader. Gardner just took away 4th spot. Already he's challenging Tracy Keller. Keller, the veteran driver with 1 heat win and 1 feature win already this season. And Gardner, the division rookie in car 7, takes away 3rd spot. A big lead now for West Newton's Jimmy Stokes in car 95. Last season, Stokes finished 6th in the championship standings with 5 feature wins and 6 heat race wins. He's got almost a straightaway now over Jefferson Hills rookie Jimmy Christoffel in the 04. Then Matt Gardner in the 7 from Ruffsdale, the American Flyers division graduate, and Tracy Keller back in the 4th spot. Popular veteran Keller in a backup car after his Charger machine was destroyed in an opening night crash here. He still took the backup car to a win just weeks ago. Hanging on to 4th, and out of turn number 4 comes the checkered flag with a spin just in front. We're going to need the caution flag because Bill Oldham in car 5 has spun. The Yellow Book caution flag waving over the Yellow Book Charger division. 23rd, thanks to our friends at AAA. Boxcar race night for the kids and holiday fireworks. We'll tell you more about those boxcar races in just a moment as Jimmy Stokes takes the green flag. Boy, they were all separated after those 5 laps of green, and now look at them fighting for 2nd. Matt Gardner in the 7 taking us, and Roger Bryan spins and makes hard wall contact in turn 2. Roger Bryan, the Smithton hometown driver, a rookie in the Charger division, spins. That looked like hard contact, but he's driving away. The car is still under power as he leaves the front bumper laying in turn number 2. That looked like some hard contact, and that Monte Carlo number 12 pulls away. Final lap of the Yellow Book Chargers 6-lap heat race with Jimmy Stokes leading Jimmy Christoffel, Matt Gardner, and Tracy Keller with the green flag in the air. Tracy Keller gains 2 positions on the restart in car number 1. He has moved around Gardner. He has moved around the 04 of Christoffel. Tracy Keller in car 1, able to close just a bit on race-long leader Jimmy Stokes. Tracy Keller in car 1 was second in the championship standings last year with 2 feature victories. He won 6 heat races and has advanced in this final green flag segment as the checkered is now in the air. Finally, after 2 cautions, Jimmy Stokes is the winner. Finishing 5th, Brown car. Number 88 is Harold Hunt from Hunker. The 51 machine is Clifford Abbott. The 13 car is Denny Keller. 68 is Ed Neidhart, the rookie. 9, Rick Broadwater back in competition. 44 is Bob Garchak, and we're 3 wide on the front straight. Robbie Hott in the 16, up front side by side with Minjok. Minjok last season was a feature winner in the American Flyers division. Moving up now to the Chargers and taking the lead from Robbie Hott, who's very loose handling in turn number 3. He gathers it back in. Man on the move is Harold Hunt in the big brown car up to 3rd. Now Keller in 13, moving up to challenge the big brown Buick. Last time out, Harold Hunt got a feature victory in that massive 4-door machine. Points leader Denny Keller now taking the 3rd spot away from Harold Hunt and closing in quickly on Robbie Hott in 16. Great to see the 9 of Rick Broadwater back in competition. That machine, that Oldsmobile number 9, was involved in a nasty crash on opening night. Broadwater last season was a 2-time feature winner. Look at Minjok pulling away from the field as a division rookie at the halfway mark. 3 laps down, 3 to go. Minjok from Greenock, Pennsylvania finished 3rd in the final point standings last year for the Flyers. And we see now the points leader for the Chargers, Denny Keller in car 13, advancing to the inside of Robbie Hott and bringing Harold Hunt right with him. Denny Keller from Monongahela, Pennsylvania, got his first career feature victory on opening night in car 13. Minjok running away with the lead. Points leader Keller 2nd, Robbie Hott in 3rd, Harold Hunt in 4th. Then it's Clifford Abbott in the Star Junction Racing number 51, owned by Kevin Ludwig. Last time through turn 3 and now turn 4, the driver of car number 34. With his 2nd heat race win of the season as a division rookie over Denny Keller and Robbie Hott. 51 is Kevin Ludwig of Star Junction. The 05 is Andy Giles. 32 is Dan Jordan, and 16 is Sal Deek. I understand the 22 car, which we're used to seeing that blue machine on the outside of the front row, now changed permanently to 00. Dale Rimmel drives it when it is numbered 00. Gary Ankrum is the car side by side with him for the lead, and it's opening night feature winner Sal Deek trying to split the 2 of them. Ankrum in 21 will lead the first lap. Ankrum with a new race car has an American Flyers car for sale if you're interested in becoming a member of this division or fielding a car for a Young Guns driver. Sal Deek now taking the lead from Ankrum's new number 21 machine. Rimmel hanging on to third. Sal Deek, the driver who won his first competitive race here on opening night. You can't be more of a rookie than Sal Deek was when he arrived here on opening night. He got the feature victory. He lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, even has a heat race win already as a rookie. Ankrum now all by himself in second, and Dale Rimmel in the 00 car in the third spot. Kevin Ludwig in 51 and Dan Jordan in 32, side by side. Jordan, just like Gary Ankrum in the 21, were both competing in the Charger division last season. As the white flag waves over Sal Deek. Deek's car fielded by last year's division champion, Ed Deneen, who won 13 features in this division, acting as car owner and crew chief for Sal Deek. On the final lap, second heat race win of the young season for rookie Sal Deek in car 16. Gary Ankrum coming home in the second spot. Dale Rimmel, another rookie, in third. Dan Jordan fourth, and Kevin Ludwig getting the fifth position for the 20-lap feature. The driver of car number 16 is Gary Scott. Outside in car number 32 from Plumboro, Pennsylvania, Matt Penaya. Starting third in car number 11 from East McKeesport, John Prabanich. Starting fourth from Charleroi in car 99, Bo Glemba. Ohio teenager Tom Frank starts in the fifth position, driving car number 6. Outside of him, heat race winner earlier tonight, Bob Ship from Elizabeth, PA in the 04. 94 machine driven by Lonnie Hoffman of Smithton. The 50 car is driven by Jeff Giles Jr. from Vanderbilt. The 60 is Adam Kostelnik from East McKeesport. Outside of Kostelnik will be the 01 of Harry Ofer from Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania. Points leader in car number 97 is George Nicola from Pittsburgh. The 9 is Rick Huffman from Jefferson Hills. The 5 is Jim Nicola. The 40 car is driven by Brian Ship. The 7 is Ben Easler. 29 is Bruce Hamilton from Pittsburgh. 1 is Dave McManus from Elizabeth. 4 is George Thomas from Pittsburgh. 20 laps the distance for the Lincoln Welders Open Wheel Modifieds. Green flag is out and we're racing. Something leaking from the 94 machine of Hoffman as they're about to go 3 wide into turn 3. Prabanich thinks better of it, backs off in the 11 car. It's a 2-car battle behind leader Gary Scott with Matt Penaya and Bo Glemba. Hard contact on the front straight. Bob Ship shoved into the wall, and everybody does a great job of avoiding him. Ship and Penaya made contact out of turn number 4. Both Penaya in 32 and Bob Ship in the 04 seeking career first victories, and they made contact out of turn 4 with Bob Ship getting the worst end of that one. Last season, he was Rookie of the Year in the modified division and climbs out of the car. He is A-OK. Good news to see after that hard wall contact, battling for a top 5 position. There's Gary Scott and Matt Penaya on the front row. John Prabanich and Bo Glemba in row 2. There's the green flag. We're back up to full speed. Scott taking the early lead just as he did on the first attempt to start. Penaya now falling into second with Bo Glemba third. In turn 1, wheel-to-wheel battle for 5th. Harry Ofer in the 01 and modified rookie Jeff Giles in the 50. Now pulling along the inside of the Giles car, defending champion Adam Kostelnik in the 60 and points leader George Nicola in 97. second. Newlywed Bo Glemba from Charleroi in car 99 makes a pass of Matt Penaya for the second position. Now Penaya and Probanich are going to fight for third spot. Gary Scott, the leader in car 16, a four-time feature winner in 2005, leading Bo Glemba in car 99. Last season, Bo Glemba earned his career first victory. He's riding second now with several car lengths between himself and third place Matt Penaya. John Probanich and Adam Kostelnik are right in tow with third place Penaya. Kostelnik in the Viglione Racing number 60 appears to have a faster race car than John Probanich as we're working lap 5 of 20. Kostelnik in the 60 could not make a pass on the low side, switches to the outside lane in turn 3. Again, Probanich holds off Kostelnik for fourth position as they make contact in turn 1. Working lap 6 of 20, there was Nerf bar contact side to side between the 60 of Kostelnik and the 11 of Probanich. Defending champion Kostelnik now takes away fourth spot as the lead battle intensifies. Into turn number 1, Bo Glemba in car 99. Close enough to reach out and touch the back bumper of Gary Scott. Scott, the longtime veteran campaigner, began his modified career on the dirt at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Bo Glemba, a third-year driver, closing in quickly to the back bumper of your leader. Scott drifting up the racetrack, leaving the inside lane open for young Bo Glemba in 99. Meanwhile, Kostelnik steals the third position away with a low side pass of Matt Penaya. Lapped car that the leaders will be moving around is the 4 of George Thomas from Pittsburgh. Gary Scott with now 2 or 3 car lengths advantage over Glemba. Jeff Giles heads to the pits. Tough break for the rookie in the division. All past the back marker of George Thomas. Clear racetrack now separating first, second, and third. 9 laps remaining. Glemba remains within 2 car lengths of the leader. Kostelnik may be gaining on both of them in car 60 after starting deep in this field. Trouble, turn 2. The 6 of Tom Frank and the 7 of Ben Easler, the 2 youngest drivers in this field by far, locked up and sliding through turns 1 and 2. The machine that has stopped is that of Tom Frank, the teenage driver from Concord, Ohio in car 6, made some kind of contact with the 7 of Ben Easler. And those 2 teenage drivers bringing out the caution with 9 laps to go in this one. He's worked his way up to third as the green flag waves. Side by side for second down the front straight. Kostelnik in car number 60, trying everything he can on the inside. He made some high side passes coming from deep in the field, but he is down to the bottom and now taking second away. The low side and the high side working for car 60. Last year's leading feature winner, Adam Kostelnik, up to the second position, moving around the 99 of Bo Glemba. 7 laps remaining and Gary Scott continues to lead. top 3 cars have broken away from Matt Penaya in 4th and John Romanich in 5th. That battle for 4th shaping up now as a 3-car fight. Points leader George Nicola in the 97, who started about 12th on the grid, challenging for a top 5 position, looking to the inside of the 11 of Promanich. Kostelnik in 2nd position is gaining on the leader, but maybe not fast enough. Kostelnik has distanced himself from 3rd place Bo Glemba, who's having a slight handling problem in car 99. But he still has 7 car lengths, make it 5, make it 4, as he is closing quickly with just 2 laps to go on leader Gary Scott. Scott, a 4-time feature winner last season. Adam Kostelnik, a 7-time feature winner last season. Once again, they approach the 4-car of George Thomas. This could play into the lead battle as Kostelnik stays on the bottom, gaining tremendous ground in turns 3 and 4 on Scott. White flag in the air. Less than a car length separating the leaders. Kostelnik, loose handling into turn number 1, now making a charge out of 2. Last time down the back straight for the feature victory. Gary Scott and Adam Kostelnik, neither driver a stranger to victory lane. Inside lane trying to be closed up by Scott. He will block the pass and win his first feature of 06. Gary, we talked to you last season. Early in the year, you had some feature victories. I was just telling the fans about a devastating crash. Let's talk about how it felt to sit out almost half a season last year, being in attendance here at the races, unable to compete.
It was relaxing. You don't want to hear that, but it was kind of peaceful. I come and helped Dad out, and we got, won the championship with the American Flyer, and that was real important.
Now, speaking of championships, with this brand new race car, are you aiming for a modified track title here at Motordrome in 2006?
I'd like it, but I don't know. It's my work schedule. We go to Sundays, I'm in trouble. So that might make a difference.
Now, taking a look at that feature race we just witnessed, the very end of the race, Adam Kostelnik was gaining in a big way. Last lap through turn 4, looked like you slowed down a little to maintain that inside lane.
Well, the car was starting to get loose, and I knew he was there, and he was tapping me, but obviously he didn't take me out, so it was good racing.
A good race indeed. Now a chance to thank all your sponsors and crew that put this effort back together for you after last year.
Yeah, really, it's a whole new car. Solano's Pizza, Imperial Heights Garage, the music store, Ed's Auto, obviously Alternative Power Sources, which is Race Team 7, and Advanced Engines. And I want to thank Peanuts, Sal, Ed, Dan, and my wife Tracy.
Thanks all the way around, as it pays off tonight in victory lane for Gary Scott. Like this one, take a look down the front straight.
Tommy Quad, he is the world Flatland Freestyle Champion. He's on tour with us only this year. It's the only time you're going to be able to see him. Look at him ride.
All the things we try to avoid during the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series here on a Friday night are the things that you will see here on Saturday, July 1, like destruction, fire, mayhem, and stunts. Hey, how about that? He's coming at you in the drive-in parking section up there on the hillside. Let's hear it for him.
Tommy here's coming up on his last pass this afternoon. Look at that, the front end endo right across the finish line there. And Tommy's going to attempt to make a whole pass on the rear wheels around the track July 1st. Be the first time he's ever done it.
A half mile on rear wheels coming your way Saturday, July 1st. It's the Extreme Night of Fire and Destruction by KSR Motorsports. As a motorcycle enthusiast myself, I can tell you that from my cases of road rash, I'd be wearing some long sleeves. This guy's out there in a t-shirt. That shows some bravery to me.
I'll tell you what, Tommy was practicing it this afternoon. He was going to save it for July 1st, but man, I guess he got crazy. Look at him, he's almost all the way around now.
I think crazy is a word that we can associate with almost every act coming up on Saturday, July 1st, right here at Motordrome. First time you can see such a show here. We hope you'll come on out and join us and our good friends at KSR Motorsports. Here comes the first lap of Young Guns teen competition. Joey DeBerry in the 74 car, shuffled back behind the 16 of Greg Lynch and the 61 of Ron Eifert. '16 machine is doing double duty tonight with different drivers. We see Greg Lynch about to lead the first lap in the history of Young Guns competition in the car that Ed Deneen will be driving in tonight's Advanced Auto Parts American Flyers feature. Riding in second, the 61 of Ron Eifert from Scottdale. Understand we have quite a collection of folks from Scottdale here tonight. Cheer for Ron Eifert if you're from Scottdale, everybody. He's in the second position right now. Third, Joey DeBerry from Connellsville. Every driver on the Speedway between ages 13 and 19. Visit the website at motordrome.com to find out how you can build a race car for your teenage driver to safely test the performance limits behind the wheel. Car 16 of Greg Lynch of Scottdale. Out in front, 2 laps to go now. Greg Lynch in second and the 74 of Joey DeBerry, all true rookies in the most rookie sense. Five laps the distance and the white flag indicates final pass. Trophies and contingency prizes about to be awarded for the first time in Young Guns competition. And headed through turn number 4, headed for the checkered flag in his first career event, Greg Lynch in car 16, the winner. Coming home second in the 61, Ron Eifert of Scottdale. Coming home third, Connellsville's Joey DeBerry in car 74. Young Guns action is officially underway, and this 6th division of competition will be in action every Friday night here at Motordrome Speedway. So all of you climbing out of the car, Young Gun teen winner, Greg Lynch. Let's hear it for him. Greg, you're going down in history as the first winner of a Young Guns race at Motordrome. How's that feel?
Oh, it's wonderful.
How old are you, first off?
16.
16 years old, and how did you land this ride with a top-notch team? Were you sending out resumes all over the country?
I just got lucky. I'm with a bunch of great group of guys. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank my mom, the track, starting the class. This is just fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about your role as a crewman. You're no stranger to Motordrome Speedway. What do you typically do here on a Friday night helping Gary and Ed?
Get the chassis set up on the modified, get the air pressure in here, and anything else trivial.
Well, tonight you visited Victory Lane for the first time. One more round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, our first Young Guns feature winner is Greg Lynch. 4 is Dustin Blank. Green flag in the air, 20 laps of racing for the Subway Street Stocks, and Tavermina has trouble coming up to speed. Tavermina loses 3-4 positions at the drop of the green. Jason Holder in car 74 moves out to the early lead. Holder had 1 feature victory last season and hails from Stoystown, with the 69 of Nicola currently running in the 2nd spot, less than a half car length behind. Nicola, the opening night winner, to the inside of Holder in car 69. Ford versus Chevrolet. Nicola's Ford taking the lead from Holder's Monte Carlo, 3 wide in the battle for 3rd. 34 of Rich Nicola having a strong performance early in this one. He's got Bill Ashton in the 35 and Bill Henry in the 64 just behind him. Nearly 3 wide again with Tavermina in 25 and Turek in 5. Leader Joe Nicola, Jason Holder second, Rich Nicola third, Bill Ashton in 4th, and then chaos. It's the hammer Tavermina holding off the 5 of Turek, and now Bill Henry losing 2 spots, going side by side with Sean Phillips in 31. Battle developing for second position, while one Nicola is out front. It's another Nicola challenging Holder for second. 34 machine is driven by Rich Nicola. Leader is Joe Nicola. Jason Holder in 74 is the only car separating those family members. Holder now shuffled out of second as Turek is hit by Sean Phillips. Great move by Bill Henry in 64 to avoid that contact. 35, a Chevrolet. The mixed manufacturers at the front of the Subway street stock field taking the green flag. '69 of Nicola now with 4 or 5 car lengths over the battle for second. Jason Holder, caution flag on the speedway. On the back straight, just at the entrance to pit road, we have a spin. That is the 41 machine. On the Kostelnik 57, here's the green flag. Leader Nicola, second place Holder. Under green flag conditions, Jason Holder in the 74 lost second place, and they're 3 wide for 4th. We'll go back to the battle for second in a minute. They've done a half a lap, 3 wide. Sean Phillips on the inside. Tavermina was the meat of that sandwich with Bill Ashton on the outside in car 35, who takes over 4th. How about that, race fans? From the outside lane of 3 wide, Ashton in 35 takes away the position. Tavermina in 25 now, falling back just a bit, and right there in car 12 is the Subway Challenge driver for tonight, John Greenewald. Looking back up front, just as had happened under our last stint of green flag racing, Jason Holder has lost the second position to Rich Nicola and is losing several car lengths as he fades away in 3rd spot. The 2-car breakaway, both Nicola Racing family members. 69 of Joe Nicola, 34 of Rich Nicola. And now Holder has actually faded back, and Sean Phillips and Dave the Hammer Tavermina are closing quickly on car 74. It could be a 2 or 3 car battle for 3rd position before the halfway point of this event. Sean Phillips and Tavermina and now Greenewald all taking positions away from Holder, who is falling out of the top 5 quickly. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd rages on. It's Tavermina now to the inside of Phillips, door to door at the scoring line. We are now at the midpoint of this event, and it was just about a dead heat for 3rd spot. Sean Phillips in 31 officially scored with 3rd on lap 10. Inside of him is the hammer Tavermina, and Greenewald, who is past Ashton, closes in on this battle for top 5 spots in his car number 12. John Greenewald in car 12, the former late model competitor who took a couple years off from racing, has returned and has advanced. He is 4th after starting deep in this field with car 12. Tavermina, the heat race winner for this season, he is undefeated in car number 25 in preliminary heat race action. He has not yet won a feature, but Greenewald is threatening to take 3rd spot away from him. Greenewalt just avoiding contact with the rear bumper of Tavermina into turn number 1. If you're a Meatball sub fan and you thought Greenewalt started too far back to threaten for a win, he has come to the front in a big way. Down the front straight, hanging on to 4th spot, just a couple car lengths behind Dave Tavermina. In 5th, it's Sean Phillips and then Frank Turek up from that caution flag incident early in the race. Defending champion and points leader in car 5 from Mount Pleasant. Turek threatening to return to the scoreboard in 5th position as he dives under Sean Phillips and takes that spot away. Up front, the Nicola family will fight it out for a win as they have checked out on Tavermina and the rest. At the scoring line this time, 4 laps remaining. Joe Nicola got the lead early from Jason Holder and set sail from everybody else. Now the Ford of Rich Nicola, 34 car, has climbed into contention just a couple car lengths away. Nicola using the middle lane through 4, Nicola all the way at the bottom, Rich Nicola. As there are only 3 laps to go, and we're going to be reduced to first names to call this battle. Joe out front, Rich in second, Nicola family up front. Without a caution flag, one of these 2 drivers will be in victory lane. Again, all the way to the bottom goes Rich, but Joe holds him off. 2 laps to go, the signal given this time. Joe Nicola of West Mifflin, PA in car 69. In an all-out family war with Pittsburgh's Rich Nicola as the white flag is waving. Car length and a half is the separation into turn number 1. Final time around in the Subway Street Stock feature on Craftsman Tools Night down the back straight. Each lap, Rich has tried the lowest possible groove on the racetrack. Joe leaves it open for him to attempt. And by less than a car length, Joe Nicola with his 2nd win of the season. Come on over here, Joe. I know we asked you this the first time you were in victory lane, but because the guy right behind you, in fact right beside you at the finish line, has the same last name that you do, try and connect for us the connections between all these racing Nicolas and how you're all related.
Well, Rich, I'm racing against my uncle, and then the 2 guys that helped me on this car is my Uncle George and then my cousin George, who drives the modified, and my Uncle Jim runs the modified.
That's an awful lot of Nicolas on every given Friday night here at Motordrome Speedway. And while you get that brand new Craftsman hat ready, let's talk about that race. You got the lead real early, and it seemed like it was going to be easy. Man, at the finish line, you didn't have 1 car length ahead of him.
Well, I screwed up. I missed a shift at the beginning of the race, and I want to thank Dave Tavermina for not running me over on that. I screwed up big time there, and the car started out a little loose, and then it just got looser and looser, so I had to kind of back off, or else I would have put it in the wall.
Did you know how close he was to you coming out of turn 4 at the finish line? He was your uncle, after all.
I knew he was right there the whole time. I could hear him, and then I screwed up coming off of 4 a little bit, so I knew he'd be there. But I'd like to thank my Uncle Richie. Ran me clean, perfectly clean. I never felt anything at all. So I also want to thank my team, my Uncle George, my cousin George Nicola, my cousin Dave Nicola, my cousin Brian, my girlfriend Jess, my dad Tom Nicola, and John Lutton.
Well, you're the leading winner in the division already this season. Congratulations on another one in victory lane, Joe Nicola. The 91 is Tommy Beck, 37, Paul Urso, 69, Dave Marrow in his first start. 35 laps of Napa NASCAR Super Late Model action is underway. Bobby Henry, opening night feature winner, takes off with the lead, distancing himself by 4 or 5 car lengths from front row starting mate Brandon Manns. Then it's Rick Miller in car 25, his first start of the season, in the 3rd spot. Greg Kelly in car number 98, riding in 4th. In the battle for 5th is Dan Lewis in the 8 and former track champion Gary Wiltrout in 60. Wiltrout takes away 5th position, and coming along in the high side is John Messenger in 51. Messenger is now side by side with Mitchell. Racing in the middle of the pack finds the 2 West Virginians closing on Dan Lewis in the 8. Mitchell diving under Lewis and taking 6th position away in car 22. Battle for 2nd developing as Bobby Henry opens up a big lead down the back straight. Brandon Manns in car 15, who put in a rookie season as a teammate with 3-time champion Rick Miller 2 years ago. Miller's car handling very loose into turn 1. He backs off the throttle, and Manns opens up 5 or 6 car lengths in the 2nd spot. It's Gary Wiltrout in car 60, now making it a battle of former champions for 3rd. Greg Kelly is the 98, and Richard Mitchell may be the fastest car on the speedway. Up from the rear of the field in car 22, taking away 5th from Kelly. Last year's 2 biggest winners now door-to-door down the back straight. Richard Mitchell, the 8-time winner. Rick Miller, the track champion and 6-time winner. Miller now feeling the pressure of Greg Kelly as Gary Wiltrout makes a bid for 2nd spot. Action all over the speedway. Henry runs away with the lead while his teammate challenges for 2nd, and Miller and Kelly make contact. Rick Miller spinning to the outside retaining wall after contact with Greg Kelly in the Froggy 98 machine. Kelly with a serious front suspension problem. The camber is in a negative lean on the right front wheel of 98. He will be headed to the pit area. Miller's 25 car may have avoided wall contact. John Messenger, as the green flag waves, 29 laps to go. Under green flag conditions, Gary Wiltrout was seriously challenging Brandon Manns for the runner-up position. Wiltrout, the veteran and former champion in the 60. Manns, the young lion, and another spin by Doug Arrett, and it's Dave Merrow in the 69 who gets the worst end of it. First-time late model starter Dave Merrow in car 69, who has won features here in the truck division, a victim of a spin by Doug Arrett in car 7. Green is out. An even start. For the top 4 drivers, Manns may have lost a couple car lengths to Henry on the way into turn 1. And Wiltrout ready to strike. Battle for 2nd resumes. Mitchell watching from 4th as Wiltrout and Manns side by side. Wiltrout to the inside. Brandon Manns up high. Wiltrout officially the runner-up at the scoring line, working lap 7. Now it's Richard Mitchell, the 2-time track champion, to the inside of Brandon Manns. Mitchell takes away that spot. Manns back to 4th, then a pair of Motordrome NASCAR champions. Richard Mitchell in 22, the West Virginian. Somerset resident Gary Wiltrout in 60. All in pursuit of Wiltrout's teammate, Bobby Henry, the opening night winner of 2006 up front. Back in the field, a battle for about the 7th position. The repaired John Komarinsky machine has just taken a spot away from Dan Lewis, and Komarinsky looks to be closing on Tommy Beck and John Messenger very quickly. On the back straight, battle for 2nd. Richard Mitchell, very close racing with Wiltrout, 2 veterans who made contact last year in the final laps of the Napa 100. Wiltrout went on to win, Mitchell recovered to finish 2nd, and on lap 11 of 35, Mitchell tries the high side, it will not work. Henry with a 15 car length advantage, then his teammate Wiltrout being threatened by Mitchell at the scoring line. Mitchell hangs on to 2nd by half a car length. Mitchell now changing lanes after a high side attempt in turn 2 failed. He takes away the low line. In turn 3, door to door, and on the front straight, Mitchell has second position. He tried the high side, he made the low side work. They are still door to door. Officially, it was Mitchell at the scoring line, but they are wheel to wheel for an entire lap in turn 3. Mitchell to the bottom, Wiltrout up high. And the pass is completed on lap 14. Top 2 drivers on the speedway now, the only 2 feature winners of 2006. Bobby Henry, the opening night winner from Connellsville in car 11. Richard Mitchell, the most recent feature winner in car 22. Henry has slowed and allowed both cars to catch him. A dramatic slowing of car 11, and Mitchell is challenging for the lead with a caution flag. Doug Arrett has spun. Just the break that Bobby Henry may have needed. Henry lost some 15 car lengths of advantage in 1 lap. Not sure what happened to car 11, but he is headed to the pits. Your leader is heading pit side. Henry slowed dramatically and allowed Richard Mitchell and teammate Gary Wiltrout to close in. If that had been a miscue, the caution flag would have worked in his favor, but the Doug Arrett spin sends the leader to the pit area. He ends in 3rd. Mitchell with a hole shot start gains 4 or 5 car lengths on Wiltrout at the drop of the green. The Brandon Mans 15 car is holding together up to full speed. Messenger, meanwhile, in 4th, is about to feel the pressure of the advancing Tommy Beck in car 91. At the back of the field, the co-points leader, Bobby Henry, has passed 3 cars in his march back to the front, while his championship rival, Richard Mitchell, leading the way on lap 17. In the battle for 5th, just a moment ago, it looked like Tommy Beck was going to take away 4th. Now Beck finds himself on defense as it's John Komarinsky becomes the man on the move. 33 car looking to the high side of Tommy Beck in turn 4. Komarinsky, after heat race damage, climbing up to the top 5. He is to the outside of Tommy Beck. Making the outside lane work and work well as the veteran Komarinsky slight bobble there in turn 4, and Beck maintains 5th. Again, door to door down the back straight. Battle for 5th. Tommy Beck in the Dodge. Komarinsky in the Chevrolet. The familiar Rolling Rock 33. Komarinsky has competed in street stocks, trucks, and just about every division of competition. Komarinsky has raced every year that the Motordrome Speedway has been asphalt. Tommy Beck, many years younger than the veteran in car 91, began his racing career with dirt track modified wins. And Beck will lose the 5th spot on lap 22 to John Komarinsky. Richard Mitchell with a healthy lead over the rest of the field on lap 23. Gary Wiltrout all by himself in 2nd. Brandon Mans in 3rd. That car has miraculously stayed together without being touched by a crew member. After that caution flag contact, he is holding off John Messenger. Then it's Komarinsky who has now blown away Tommy Beck and is reeling in Messenger. The Komarinsky car that we thought may be damaged and unable to compete is showing brand new life, and he closes into the back bumper of John Messenger in the battle for 4th. Komarinsky working the outside lane while everybody else in the top 5 is comfortable on the bottom. We may be door to door for the 4th position on the front straight. After making a pit stop as the leader, Bobby Henry is now up to the 6th position. Henry in car 11 makes the pass of Tommy Beck. And now Brandon Manns, the 15 car in 3rd, may be experiencing some problems as a result of that accident. The accident happened under caution, but up to full speed, it's John Messenger and John Komarinsky using the low lane to send young Manns back in the order. He loses the 3rd spot to Messenger. He loses the 4th spot to Komarinsky. Here comes Henry and Beck as the Manns 15 car. Clearly not up to the full speed it was before that incident. And he is fading on lap 29. It's John Messenger in the 51 now all by himself in 3rd, with championship contender Bobby Henry taking away 4th from John Komarinsky. The Henry 11 car seems to be working just fine after that pit stop, while his teammate Gary Wiltrout rides in 2nd, and Richard Mitchell out on cruise control by himself in front of the field. Battle now for 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th as Messenger able to keep Bobby Henry just behind his 51 car. Beck and Komarinsky are back to door-to-door racing as they were just a few laps ago for 5th and 6th. Henry switches to the outside lane with 3 laps to go, battling the 51 of Messenger for 3rd. 2 drivers who went to championships and feature victories as dirt track limited late model drivers. Messenger, a champion at the Interstate Speedway and winner at Tyler County in his home state. Henry, who won more limited late model races here at Motordrome than any other driver on the dirt, waging a war for 3rd spot. Give it to Bobby Henry. White flag is waving now for leader Richard Mitchell. And we've got a spin just in front of the leader. Richard Mitchell hard on the brakes to avoid Dan Lewis in car 8. Wiltrout went on to win. Now the green flag is out as Mitchell seeks his 2nd victory of the young season. Wiltrout in car 60, finding new life for a challenge in turn number 1. And John Komarinsky spins from a fantastic run in car 33. John Komarinsky has become synonymous with the Rolling Rock number 33 car, and his fans voted him most popular driver last year in the Napa NASCAR Super Late Models. An outstanding run now comes to an end after that hard-working crew pieced the 33 back together for action tonight. Heartbreaker for the Greensburg veteran John Komarinsky. How about that restart? Gary Mitchell with another great jump on the start in turn 3. This time, Wiltrout not close enough to challenge in turn 1. Mitchell left Wiltrout in the dust on that start, and Bobby Henry, Wiltrout's teammate, unable to keep up with the front 2. White flag waving for Richard Mitchell. Richard Mitchell in 2004 was the hired driver for Benz Motorsports. Now back in his family-owned car, gets his 2nd win of the season over Benz's number 60 with Gary Wiltrout. Bobby Henry in 3rd, Tommy Beck in 4th at the last minute over John Messenger in 5th. Come on over here, Richard. Now, the first time we talked to you in Victory Lane this season, it looked pretty easy. That feature right there was not easy at the end, even though you were all by yourself for the first half, 3/4 of the race. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, actually, I think we got lucky to get to the point when we did. We were just that little bit better than Gary at that point when we got by him, and our car just started getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And just luckily we was able to get out on that lead. If Bobby would have been up there without that flat tire, I don't think we could have got him.
Now, looking at that late race caution, you had to jump on the brakes in a big way. Did you feel anything wrong with the car? I noticed just shaking the car back and forth just to make sure everything was okay. Any flat spots on the tires after that incident?
No, nothing to do with the flat spot stuff, but running up there in the gravel, I wanted to make sure that I cleaned all that stuff back off, because when you go to take off again, if you go down in the corner and have it on your tires, it won't grip. So that's why I was trying to get that stuff back off.
Speaking of taking off, those last two restarts, jump on the hammer in turn 3. The first time, Will Trout was right with you. Second time, you distanced him. What kind of philosophy do you take into a restart like that?
Well, every guy has his own way of restarting. I was just rolling a little bit faster in the first time when he kept up with me. It's just a different way that guys do it, and you just gotta learn to watch that car in front of you and time it just right.
Well, timing it just right is what you've done for a second time, and a chance to thank all your sponsors and crew.
I definitely want to thank Frank Howard, Howard Concrete Pumping, Mitchell Auto Parts, White Agency, the insurance agency, Foreman Drywall, Tom Clark Chevrolet, Martinelli's, Mitchell Auto Parts. I got to thank my parents, my brother, my cousins, my friends, everybody that comes to show up. Just having a good time.
Having a good time with 2 consecutive victories. Richard Mitchell in car 22. 5, Bill Oldham. 44, Bob Garchak. Tracy Keller in car number 1, starting scratch on the field, our most recent feature winner. Here's the green flag. Hunt and Broadwater bring him to the line. Andy Hogan way up to the top side of turn number 1. 3 wide in the middle of the pack, almost 4 wide in the middle of the pack. Denny Keller, the points leader, 3 wide with Robbie Hott and Jimmy Stokes, and now Jimmy Christoffel. Stokes racing through the grass, Garchak spins. 44 car keeps it underway, and the green flag stays out after the Garchak spin. Harold Hunt and Matt Gardner making contact, battling for top 3 positions. Look at Denny Keller, shot out of a cannon down the back straight, passing 3-4 cars as Gardner is off the pace in the 7. 3 wide on the front straight. Mike Lemley in 4, Harold Hunt in 88. 13 of points leader Denny Keller, and they make contact. Hunt, Keller, Lemley, everybody else avoids it. And the 6-ton Buick will come to a stop inside the back straightaway. Denny Keller, the points leader, dives into the pits on the back straight. Hunt is able to get the big brown car rolling once again. Mike Lemley with serious damage on the front straight in car 4 as well. And leader's choice when to get on the pedal, and Broadwater does so in turn 4. Look at Jimmy Stokes making a move on the rookie. Jimmy Christoffel, the rookie in 04, no match for the 95 of Stokes. Here comes Tracy Keller, still on the move. He's to the outside of the 7 of Matt Gardner. Keller flying around the high side of this racetrack in car number 1. Tracy Keller has passed no less than 10 cars and is challenging for 4th. Up front, the leader's about to go door to door. Rick Broadwater. In the 9, Minjock in 34, and Jimmy Stokes right there with him. The 9 of Broadwater still officially the leader as he was ahead by a fender at the scoring line. Minjock using the high side. Last year's 5-time winner Jimmy Stokes in the 95, trying to make it 3 wide for the lead out of 4. Minjock goes a little too high, and Broadwater has the most breathing room he's had in several laps. He's out in front by almost a full car length. Jimmy Stokes challenges for 2nd and takes the spot away. Two of the most successful drivers from 2005. Rick Broadwater from Level Green in car 9. Jimmy Stokes from West Newton in car 95, slugging it out up front. Laps to go, and Stokes tries the high line. Wheel to wheel in turn number 3. Jimmy Stokes on the top. Rick Broadwater using the low lane. Out of 4 to the scoring line. New leader is Jimmy Stokes. Stokes now takes off with 3 or 4 car lengths advantage over Broadwater. They move past the lapped machine of Bill Oldham, and Tracy Keller is closing on 3rd place Minjock. At the scoring line, drivers see the palm of Denny Carson telling them there are 5 laps left. Stokes leading Broadwater, Minjock, and Tracy Keller. Three-car battle for 2nd place behind leader Stokes. Broadwater, Minjock, and Keller from last, challenging for 3rd. Minjock up high, Tracy Keller down low. Battle is for 3rd, which allows Broadwater for the moment to hang on to 2nd all alone. Minjock slides the rear of the race car out of 4, gathers it back in, and that lets Keller take off with 3rd. Just as quickly, he's challenging Broadwater for 2nd. Only 2 laps to go. Keller can't make a move on the back straight. Jimmy Stokes is in line behind the lapped cars of Bob Garchak and Andy Hogan. He takes the white flag. It looks like the rest of the field is closing quickly on the leader. They won't have enough time to challenge for a win, but the battle for 2nd will be a dandy. Garchak's 44 keeps the single file racing down the back straight. Tracy Keller's last attempt at a runner-up finish. Broadwater closes quickly on Stokes. Something wrong with the 95 car. At the line, Stokes hangs on. With the Craftsman hat already placed on, we'll see what he has in store for a victory lane tonight. First time in 2006, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Stokes. Well, Jimmy, I got a couple things I want to share with you. First of all, last year, you danced on the roof, you danced on the hood, you showered everybody with water, and you kissed a security guard here in your Victory Lane celebrations. What do you have in store? Is there anything planned so far for this year?
I don't know. We're still trying to get over what happened to us the last race out here, so we're just going to kind of keep it quiet now.
Keep it a quiet Victory Lane. That's understandable. Hey, you had a hard-fought win there at the end. You had your way the whole way through the feature. Last lap, everybody came down on you. Was something amiss on the 95 car?
No, there was no miss. I thought I had a better lead on Rick than I had, but the problem came in was those lap cars. A couple of them wouldn't get down when the flagman told them to, and I just didn't want to blow it over something simple, you know what I mean?
It made for a heck of an exciting finish, I'll tell you that. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to mention to you. I have an interview of yours on tape from last year. Said, I might be retiring. There's a lot of people up there that were happy to see you come out and race tonight. What's the future plan?
This is it. This season's done. Cars going, everything's going to go, and try to maybe get into something else. Maybe racing airplanes or something, I don't know. Try something different.
Sounds like you'll try anything. How about a list of the sponsors and crew that have helped you with this car before they go to work on some aircraft?
Sure, Harmony Auto Parts, Stan's Transmissions, the Benzes, great helped me out a lot. Fort Robinson Outlet up the street here, UPMC McKeesport, Cheer Band Tires. I forget anybody, Ron? Who? Larry Lint. Can't forget the Lint crew over in turn 4. Woo!
There he is, making his final season a winning one. Jimmy Stokes of West Newton in car 95. For the first time, 00 Dale Rimmel, 51 Kevin Ludwig, 05 Andy Giles, 32 Dan Jordan. Green flag is out. With the brake lights aglow, it's last year's 13-time winner, Ed Deneen, out with the lead over Gary Ankrum. That's a brand new race car for Ankrum in the 21. Dale Rimmel and Dan Jordan looking to wage a battle for third spot. Jordan up high, takes that position. The rules for these cars absolutely identical to the rules for the Young Guns racing. In fact, a couple of the cars were borrowed and actually the same identical machines. If you build one of these 4-cylinder racers, you get to race it twice every Friday night. Deneen out front, Gary Ankrum second, Dan Jordan third. Jordan from Connellsville challenging for second as the most recent feature winner. Sal Deek not in competition tonight. He was the opening night winner, and he surrendered that car back to its owner, Ed Deneen, for tonight. Jordan takes the second spot from Gary Ankrum. In 2005, the drivers riding in second and third spot on the racetrack competed with the Yellow Book Charger division. Both drivers felt it was much more fun to have an American Flyer car, and they've returned to the 4-cylinder action. Ed Deneen opens up a huge advantage. You can tell he's the defending champion as he is outdistancing last week's feature winner, Dan Jordan. Probably should say last month's feature winner, the last time we got a race in. Then Ankrum, Rimmel, Giles, and Kevin Ludwig in the 51. The signal of 2 laps to go shown to the field this time. Remember, race fans, you can visit Motordrome.com and get yourself a set of rules to build an affordable race car and move from the grandstand to the speedway. And take your turn around the NASCAR half mile every Friday with an Advance Auto Parts American Flyer machine or a Young Guns 4-cylinder car. White flag waving for Deneen. A minimal investment gets you out on the speedway. A great father-son project for the Young Guns teenagers. We'd love to have you on the speedway each and every Friday with us as the checkered flag will wave for the defending champion of the Advance Auto Parts American Flyers, Ed Deneen, takes the victory. Dan Jordan coming home in second, Gary Ankrum in third with a brand new number 21. Dale Rimmel coming home in fourth, and Andy Giles will complete the top 5. In victory lane twice in the same night, same race team 3 times. Let's hear it for Ed Deneen, defending track champion. Hey, Ed, congratulations. Now, this team is sort of one big conglomerate, and you've got 3 wins on the same night. Has any such thing ever happened before?
I don't think so. I don't think it's ever happened before.
Congratulations to you as defending champion, your first night in the car. This is a new number 16 car. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's not new. It's the same car. We just fixed it.
Yes,
the car was wrecked. We fixed this car.
So it gained a couple of years, it looks like, up here at the front.
Yeah, it's got a different 91 bumper on the front of it. Yeah, that's what I had, so that's what we put on it. But yeah, changed that a little bit, that's all.
Now tell us, earlier you were the car owner for the first Young Guns checkered flag, a program that we certainly hope takes off. I don't think you had to convince that young man very hard to jump behind the wheel, did you?
No, I didn't have, not at all. I had to twist his arm at all to do it. No, he was willing to go ahead and do it.
And Sal Deek has a win in this car. How about thanking all the sponsors and crew that make this such a fast ride at Motordrome?
Well, I'd like to thank Advanced Automotive, Antique Auto Appraisals, Alternative Power Sources, Swissfel Music, ProSign, Swissfel ProSign, Engine Express, and well, I said Alternative, and Nisi too, and all these guys. To thank all these people for helping us out here and being sponsors on the car.
He knows how to say those sponsors after 13 wins last year. Ed Deneen in 2006 returning to victory lane.